Hi there, compassionate and heart-centered leaders. Have you been in a situation where something happened that triggered a roller coaster of emotions in you? Maybe a conversation, an interaction in your team, or communication with someone with more power than you ended up in an unsavory manner. You didn't address it at the time, yet afterwards you kept ruminating, returning to it over and over again, imagining what you could have done differently. Then the question becomes, should I let it go or bring it to the person's attention? You go back and forth in your mind, reluctant to take action. In this episode, I'll show you how to approach difficult conversations with ease and compassion, eliminating frustration, resentment, and bitterness. Before we start, let me ask you, have you subscribed to my channel? If not yet, please subscribe. I'm Maria Neizvestnaya, founder of Executive Craft, and welcome to my channel, a place for heart-centered leaders. As leadership and executive coach, I'm passionate about emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and transformational leadership training. My clients gain confidence, increase influence, and become fully empowered. Are you ready to elevate your leadership? Oh, the dreaded challenging conversation. Should I talk about it or not? As a heart-centered and compassionate leader, your emotions can be very telling. What are they telling you about how you should approach this challenging conversation? Listen, if you are bitter and resentful towards someone, it's probably time to talk to them. The more these emotions fester, the more your mind creates a false image of that person. When upset and brooding about an upsetting situation, you give your mind latitude to label someone as an evil monstrosity. As a task-oriented machine, your mind collects more and more evidence about the unpleasantness of that other. Now, there are some cases where this person is being dismissive, or this person may have a certain personality type that is toxic for you and in fact for every workplace. If you suspect that this is the case, watch the episode on toxic workplaces, 3 signs of a toxic workplace and exiting a toxic workplace. In today's episode, we are talking about misunderstandings and mistakes that happen in every relationship. It generally occurs between people who have good intentions. More importantly, I am going to show you how to heal misinterpretations and disputes through direct and authentic communication. When you are initiating a difficult conversation with someone, you are employing humility, vulnerability, courage, and authenticity. Wonderful characteristics of compassionate leadership. Yes, it takes courage to initiate this dialogue, but at the end of the day, these efforts pay off because you don't spend energy overthinking and aren't bogged down by the challenging emotions of anger, frustration, or resentment. In contrast, you're stepping up and acting from a place of empowerment. So here is the framework that can help you get there. First, prepare on 2 levels, emotional and cognitive. From the emotional standpoint, process the situation that you want to bring up by asking yourself the following questions. And I encourage you to journal about it. And notice what happens in your body as the wave of emotion arises and then washes over you. Spend time experiencing these emotions. What was the trigger in the situation or conversation? For example, you might have experienced anger sparked by something the other person said. Perhaps something they did contradicts your idea of fairness or your basic values and beliefs. How do you now view the person based on that event. For instance, you might now label them as untrustworthy. Ask yourself, is there a space in my heart to forgive this person? If not, what needs to happen for me to do so? For example, you may expect an apology or at least an explanation of their thinking process so you can understand their perspective. Am I ready to forgive myself for not taking action at that moment? If not, what needs to happen so I can relate to myself with compassion and kindness? Ideally, how would I like this situation to be different? Also consult a person who you can trust to stay neutral, perhaps a friend, family member, coach, or mentor. Talk about what happened and ask them to listen objectively without giving advice or passing judgment. The next step in preparation is to create an outline based on the facts of what happened, not your interpretation of the facts or your judgment. What's your understanding and interpretation of these facts, and what impact did they have on you? Think about the questions that you can ask for other person's perspective. Finally, think about one request, a simple step that you'd like this person to do differently next time. So how do you know when you are ready for the conversation? You'll feel more peace and calm within yourself. And as you recall this event, your emotions will have subsided. It means that you will be ready to hold a space for conversation when you are at your best and act according to your values. This process doesn't need to take days. You'll be surprised how fast you can be ready to move on to the actual conversation. The longer you avoid and delay this process, the greater the toll. Second step is to set up a meeting with that person. You can actually set up a meeting even before you go through step 1. It's an accountability trick that helps prevent your mind from derailing your intention. You won't have time to overthink your way out of it. Once you have the date, you'll get to preparation much faster. When setting up the challenging conversation, send a kind and neutral invitation that points out the topic of the meeting, giving the other person time to prepare as well. Be sure to state how much time you need. For example, "Hi Maria, I have been thinking about our discussion last week regarding the gaps in our team's collaboration. It left me feeling anxious, uneasy, uncertain, insert your own feeling there. I'd like to meet for 30 minutes next week to discuss it further, clarify, understand your perspective, follow up, etc. During the meeting, keep it friendly and stay neutral. Exercise curiosity by imagining that the whole purpose of the meeting is to understand the other person's perspective. Ask clarifying questions. Use your preparation framework. Start with stating the fact about what happened and speak about your experience while avoiding putting blame on anyone. You may say something like, "In that meeting, what I heard you saying was, it sounded to me like." One of the challenges that can be really triggering in difficult conversation is receiving mixed messages. Something just doesn't add up in your view of the world. Take, for example, someone saying that they appreciate the efficient collaboration of your team, but then totally contradict themselves and transmit an inconsistent message about how ineffective your collaboration is going. In this case, bring this up as a contradiction and a conflicting message with the other person to get their perspective. And then listen. It isn't your job to figure it out for them. Just state the opposing facts impartially and see what they have to say. Maybe a scenario would sound something like, "Last week during the meeting between our two teams, I heard you say that you are very pleased with the way we work together. This week, During the meeting with our regional director, you mentioned that lack of collaboration between our teams is a gap that prevents our region from growth. Then pause. Then you can say, I'm wondering what you make of it, or I'm wondering what is your perspective on that. Don't justify yourself. Lean into listening and asking clarifying questions rather than trying to explain your perspective or explain in detail why you felt the need to initiate this meeting or why you felt the way you felt. Stay in your power. Also, don't avoid bringing up the issue or trying to pack it into a compliment. Direct communication creates transparency and helps to avoid conflict. If you know that you are conflict averse and avoid confrontation, train to do this in advance and think about how to formulate what you want to say in 3 to 4 concise sentences. More on that in my previous episode on how to express yourself with confidence and clarity. The more you practice, the easier it will be to accomplish what you set out to do. You should feel good after leaving the conversation. Then you'll know you have nailed it. To learn more about the qualities needed to succeed as a heart-centered and compassionate leader, sign up for my free 1-hour training, How to Succeed as an Overgiver Without Becoming Resentful or Losing the Passion for Your Work. Go to executivecraft.com and join my webinar. If you are in a leadership position and ready to fully step into your power and make the biggest impact as a heart-centered leader, I invite you to connect and book a free one-on-one discovery call with me. Let's talk about the specifics of your situation and figure out what are the next steps that you can take to get closer to your vision and goals. To apply for the call, click on the link in the description or go to executivecraft.com/apply and choose the time in my schedule that works for you. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and share it with other heart-centered and compassionate leaders. And hit this bell button if you have not subscribed to my channel yet. Stay safe and take good care of yourself and your loved ones. See you soon. Bye-bye.